Here are the 4 simple ways to start mastering debt today. Think debt is bad? Think again. Discover how I used debt to go from broke to multimillionaire in just a few years.
Estate attorney Alexis Martin-Neely,
the author of a book called Wear Clean Underwear.
Alexis Martin-Neely,
our expert in estates, wills, and trusts.
Family financial and legal expert Alexis Martin-Neely.
Many financial educators will tell you to stay out of debt at all costs. But then, of course, they'll tell you to take on student loans for going to college or car payments for a car or home payments for a mortgage. But here's the reality. In the early stages of life or business, it is nearly impossible to stay debt-free. I had a conservative relationship with credit when I first started out as an adult, and I used it just for law school, taking on about $100,000 of student loan debt. What I realized is that you can take on debt, make a huge number of mistakes, and bounce back based on what you learned. You can ruin your credit score and then rebuild it. Maybe you've done that yourself. After law school, I got a 6-figure job. I bought a house with a mortgage right away, and as I mentioned, I had $100,000 in student loans. But I decided to leave the security of my 6-figure paycheck and start my own law practice using personal credit cards. It was risky, but it was the best and worst decision I ever made. See, most people think debt is the enemy, but the problem isn't debt itself, it's not knowing how to use it as a resource. So let's break it down so that you can use debt to your advantage. Our financial system is designed for you to use debt in the right way. Avoiding it completely can actually limit your opportunities, especially in the early stages of your career or in business. And one of the biggest lessons I learned is the difference between personal debt and business debt. As a result of not knowing this, after building $2 million businesses, I actually ended up in bankruptcy. But because of what I learned through that bankruptcy process, I've been able to earn millions of dollars to the tune of $66 million. And now I want to share with you what I've learned over the past 14 years about how to use debt wisely. So the very first thing is that if you find yourself using your personal credit cards to pay for anything that could be for a business, well, you're going to want to stop immediately. Don't use your personal credit. Instead, use business credit. And here's why. When you're using personal credit, if you use more than 30% of any one card or 30% of your total available credit, that's going to ding your credit score, and it's going to bring your credit score down lower and lower and lower for overutilization. But if you have a great credit score, what you can do is you can use your great personal credit score to get business credit cards, either in the name of a sole proprietorship or a business entity. And then if you have business credit cards, which by the way, you can get many of them at 6 to even 18 months of 0% interest, well, you can use full utilization of all of that credit, well more than the 30% that you have available, without it hurting your credit score at all. Now, what if you have a job and not a business? Can you still use business credit cards? Well, you sure can if you set up a business. Just because you have a job doesn't mean that you can't have a business too. And I recommend that everybody should have a business, if only just to be using business credit combined with the deduction power of business expenses that saves you money on your taxes. So let's think about if you want to buy a computer. First of all, you can use a business credit card at 0% interest to buy that computer. And even if the cost of the computer is greater than 30% of your total credit available, as long as you're making payments, it's not going to hurt your credit score. Then, as long as you have any business income coming in, and we can talk about what that looks like, how do you get business income coming in, even if you have a job, then you can deduct the cost of that computer from that business income, and that's going to be like the government subsidizing your purchase of the computer. Because otherwise, if you just buy that computer with money that you've already used after tax dollars to pay, well, the government's not subsidizing that investment for you at all. So if you set up a business, you do not need to make a profit to get it going. As long as you make a profit or break even within 2 out of 5 years, it's considered a business. If you don't, then it will be considered a hobby and you won't be able to take tax deductions. So you do want to have a profit intention with your business. So the key here is to use debt strategically to invest in your own personal and business growth. Don't invest on personal credit cards, invest on business credit cards, and make sure that when you're using your personal credit cards, you keep your usage below 30% per card or 30% overall. Whereas with your business credit cards, you can use them to invest all the way up to the maximum usage of the cards. As long as you keep making those payments, it's not going to hurt your credit score at all. Here are the 4 simple ways to start mastering debt today. Number 1, assess your credit score. I recommend that you look at your credit score at least every month. There's plenty of free ways to look at your credit score where it won't hurt your credit score to do it. You might have heard, oh, if I look at my credit score, it's going to be considered an inquiry on my credit and it's going to hurt my credit. But looking at your credit score with any of the resources that I have here in the description will not be considered an inquiry on your credit report, and it won't hurt your credit at all. So keep an eye on your credit score. Look at your credit score every single month to see what's being reported on your credit report so that you can dispute anything that shouldn't be reported, and so that you can really have a holistic view of what's going on, because your credit score isn't reflective in any way of your self-worth. It's simply access to capital. So if you think of credit as access to capital, so imagine you have $500 in your bank and you have $20,000 of credit available, you actually have access to $20,500. So if you think about it that way, you recognize your access to credit is access to capital. Then the next thing that you want to do is keep a real clear eye on your current debt situation. What kind of debt do you have? What are the interest rates? When are the payments due? What are the minimum payments? And is your credit personal or business? That way, as you start paying back your credit, you could pay back personal credit first to get yourself under that 30% utilization, and you can pay back, of course, higher interest rate cards before you're paying off low interest rate cards. Now, use some of that credit to set up a business if you don't already have one. This can open doors to new financial resources for you, like business credit cards. So once you open up your business, you want to apply for business credit cards, as long as you have a clear idea how you're going to use those business credit cards. What are you going to invest in that's going to allow you to start generating revenue? Because you can get those 0% cards anywhere from 6 to 12 or 18 months. So you don't want to get those business credit cards until you're clear what you're going to be investing in that's going to allow you to be generating the revenue that you need to pay back that debt. And that's exactly what you want to be doing, is you want to be using that debt to invest in assets that will grow your business or personal wealth. This could mean investing in your education. This could be investing in increasing the value of your services. This could be investing in equipment that is going to allow you to create something you can sell. This could mean investing in network opportunities that are going to bring you opportunities to earn more money. This could mean investing in any of the places that I talked about in my article of the 10 places for you to invest next. So you want to be investing those resources so that you are able to earn money from the investments that you're making. That's how you know it's going to be a good investment. The first and most important investment you want to make is investing in having a skill that you can offer in the world so that you can generate what you need when you need it on demand in alignment with your values by giving your gift and receiving what you need in return. And so if you don't have a valuable, high value skill like that, or if you do have a skill, but it needs to be increased in value, that's really the first place for you to invest, is in creating that skill and then learning to engage clients for that skill, learning to give what you have in exchange for what you need. Being able to exchange resources and knowing how to do that is one of the most important things that you can invest in. Learning how to sell, learning how to write copy, learning how to market your services, learning how to bring your services into the world. Those are all of the next things for you to invest in. And after that, then you can start to invest in things that will teach you, for example, how to build your business, how to get the strategic guidance that you need to go from just meeting your bare minimum needs to beginning to meet your needs plus the needs of a growing ecosystem. That's how you become a creator of the economy, and you're not at the whim of interest rates or inflation or stagflation or deflation or whatever else is going on in the external economy, because you have a valuable service that you can offer, that you can build a team around, or perhaps a product that you can offer that you can build a team around. Now you are the creator of your economy, not at the whim of anything external to you. Without the ability to utilize debt, my businesses would have certainly gone in a different direction. I would have had to keep things very small. I wouldn't have been able to invest in creating my own office space, in really growing from $0 to $1 million a year in just 3 years. And I'm ready to pull back the curtain on all of my financial history. In the video linked above, you can see my journey from a 7-figure business owner to bankruptcy and back. You'll learn how I earned $66 million since 2006. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel. But more importantly, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments on what did you learn from this? What have you learned about debt? What is going to be your next step when you're looking into mastering debt and using it as a tool for your own financial liberation, not something to fear? Let me know in the comments. I can't wait to hear. I'm Ali Katz, and I'll see you in the next video.